And a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to the world famous Hit the Ropes radio show. This is episode number 319 of Hit the Ropes Radio. Demetrius Stokes here with Shane Howard on a glorious Wednesday night, a Royal Rumble Wednesday, I guess, if you will. Shane, how you doing out there, man?
I'm great. I'm refreshed. I'm ready for some Royal Rumble. One of my favorite pay-per-views of the year.
Absolutely, absolutely. I also see that you are broadcasting again from the nursery, as as I like to often tease you about.
Yeah. Be broadcasting from your nursery pretty soon, man.
Yes, yes, you are very well correct. The countdown is truly beginning, so I will be like you probably soon with elephants and giraffes all in the background when I'm recording episodes of Hit the Ropes Radio. But thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. So glad that you guys are with us. Those that are soon to join in the chat room, I know we usually have a crew in there. Thank you guys. Those that are listening to the podcast later, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have really been showing us love, man. The numbers have been looking good. People have been downloading the podcast. Makes some brothers feel good. Like we're doing some good work here. So we appreciate you guys and the support you've been giving to Hit the Ropes Radio since our return back in it's back in September. So Shane Howard, it's a big week for the WWE, a big weekend, if you will. The road to WrestleMania officially kicks off with the Royal Rumble. Actually, before the Royal Rumble, we kick off with NXT Takeover San Antonio, which looks like it's going to be a good event. I know people have been talking about how the card isn't as strong as past NXT Takeover pay-per-views or events. I want to get your thoughts on that. What do you think about NXT Takeover San Antonio? How do you think it will shape up in comparison to some of the other takeovers, which so far all of them have been great?
Right. I mean, right now there's 5 matches announced. NXT tends to be like a 2-hour show, so the 5, maybe 6. I'm not sure if we'll get a 6 match or not, but that amount of matches is going to be good for NXT because they tend to give their wrestlers time. Looking at the card, there's here who I'm a fan of, so I'm interested. But as others have said, it doesn't look as strong as NXT takeovers of the past. But there are 3 matches I'm interested in, mainly because there might be somebody or somebodies in the match that I'm a fan of.
I got you. I'm gonna take a stab at the 3 matches. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna assume one of them is the main event, which would be Nakamura versus Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship. Am I right there?
Yep, you're right there.
Okay. Now it gets tough here. I'm gonna go. You're a fan. Oh no, I don't know. You're a fan of the ladies, so I'm gonna say, are you going with this fatal 4-way match? Asuka versus Nikki Cross versus Billie Kay versus Peyton Royce. Is that number 2?
That is number 2 because I'm hoping that Nikki Cross gets that title.
Okay, all right. And then the third match, I'm conflicted here because I'm wondering if it's the tag team match, the title match between DIY and the Authors of Pain, or Eric Young versus Ty Dillinger. Which one is it? It's one of those two, I think.
We've been doing this Hit the Ropes thing for so many years that we've become to know each other so well that you were able to narrow it down because I was torn between those 2 matches. But I'm just not a fan of the Authors of Pain. I feel they are still in need of, some seasoning. So as much as I like Gargano and Ciampa, I'm looking more forward to Eric Young and Ty Dillinger because I'm hoping Ty Dillinger gets called up real soon.
Yeah. He's seemingly pretty popular with the WWE universe. The Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. Yeah, Ty Dillinger, Eric Young. I have not seen honestly much of Eric Young and his NXT run, so I guess I'm a little bit intrigued and interested to see how that shapes out as well. I do kind of like. I agree with you that the authors of pain are green still, but I do like them. Having Paul Ellering with them really gives them a boost. And they're trying to mold them into this big bad, tag team. But like you said, they are still a little green. I think DIY can put on a great match with anyone. If I'm not mistaken, Tommaso Ciampa is a former guest of Hit the Ropes Radio. Um, but so we always like to show him love. But like you said, not as strong of a card as maybe past NXT takeovers, but definitely matches that are worth watching and worthy of giving us a good show. So I'm looking forward to Saturday night. How do you think the title match is going to shake out? Are we going to see Nakamura finally drop the belt to Rude and maybe make a jump to either Raw or SmackDown, or do we see Nakamura hold on and maybe extend things with Bobby Roode, maybe until we get around NXT Takeover Orlando around WrestleMania time?
Um, Nakamura has been playing a hot potato with that title for a couple months now, back and forth with Samoa Joe. So I'm not sure if he's going to continue this with Bobby Roode. I feel that a lot of people are wanting to see Shinsuke on the main roster. But I remember reading somewhere from one of these dirt sheets. I'm not sure which one it was. Could be the Inquisitor. I'm not sure. There's so many that come along my eyesight. That they were saying that Nakamura might not be coming up as yet. Um, so I'm going to lean more towards Nakamura staying down there just for a little bit longer.
Yeah, we must have read the same similar reports because I've heard that WWE is really trying to make NXT not like a, I guess, quote unquote, a developmental league or a minor league, but actually a legitimate third brand, which I actually think Triple H has done a great job of doing thus far. But there is definitely a need, particularly on SmackDown Live, of some fresh faces, some fresh singles talent. So I could very well see Nakamura making a jump. Probably not until, though, after WrestleMania. Usually the day after WrestleMania, you get a couple of the NXT guys or gals who make the jump to one of the shows. So I can see a Nakamura making that jump then, or if they do decide that they want to keep Nakamura down as the face of NXT, if you will, a guy like Bobby Roode making a jump. I know it's rare that one of those bigger names who have paved their way and made their name on the indie circuit and in TNA. I know it's rare for those guys not to have a title NXT title run before they make a jump, but maybe Bobby Roode is that guy. I probably think it's time for Samoa Joe to make a jump. He would be a fresh face on the main roster as well. But then you don't want to spread NXT too thin either. So kind of see WWE's dilemma here. But all in all, looking forward to NXT Takeover San Antonio and seeing where things go. Do you have an early favorite for match of the night? Would it probably be Rude and Nakamura?
I feel that would probably be the best bet. Um, because in the other matches, you have other than Eric Young and Ty Dillinger, the other matches have some individuals in there that I don't think have fully found their footing in NXT and working with everybody. Um, Andrade Almas, he's still trying to figure out who he is. He came in as this baby face, Now he's being this heel character. Um, he's still not fully by the NXT fans. So, we know how Roderick Strong can work, but I'm not sure about that matchup. And then with the ladies, you have Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, not bringing it in terms of ring work as I think we would like based on how we've seen the women in NXT perform. And then, of course, I already mentioned Authors of Pain.
Right, right. So what we're seeing here probably is just kind of some, like you said, some fresh faces, some of the talent in NXT that WWE is, I guess, trying to push to further developed. And a stage like NXT Takeover usually brings the best out of these men and women. So we'll see how everything shakes out. NXT Takeover San Antonio this Sunday. I sound like a commercial only on the WWE Network.
for nine
but
for
this
$9.99.
for 9.99, right? Well, this is episode 319 of the Hit the Ropes radio show. Shane Howard and Demetrius Stokes here with you. We're gonna get into a little Royal Rumble tonight. We're gonna also talk about some Royal Rumble memories, some memories that we have of Royal Rumbles past, some favorite moments. Also, we're gonna give you five names that we think predictions, five people that we think have a legitimate shot to win the Royal Rumble, maybe some surprise entrants. We're going to get into all that as we move forward here with the show. Shane, any thoughts on Raw or SmackDown this week? Anything that stood out to you? Anything that is notable that we should talk about as we approach the Royal Rumble? Thought Raw was pretty good compared to weeks past.
Yeah, Raw was a pretty good show. Not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. It didn't seem to drag as you said weeks past, so I was appreciative of that. In terms of SmackDown, uh, I really liked the interaction between Cena and AJ Styles. I didn't watch Cena's Good Morning talk show segment. But the fact that this lady kept saying the guy from Atlanta, I don't know if that's something the WWE told them to go with, or if she legit did not do her homework to know that, he was facing AJ Styles. But I'm hoping that it was a, a legit thing, and I love the fact that they use that in the storyline. So if it is legit, kudos for the WWE being quick to use that, and it's a legit gripe for AJ Styles and for the people who hate John Cena.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't know about that. The guy from Atlanta. That's who AJ Styles is. So yeah, you know, I always like when promos between two guys have some level of like reality in it. Like you could tell some of those shots Cena was taking at AJ Styles were like legit things that he probably felt about AJ Styles prior to him coming to the WWE. And then on Talking Smack, AJ Styles said, "Look, John Cena couldn't cut it on an independent circuit. Like he wouldn't last on the independent circuit because he cannot wrestle the variety of styles that you might see in an independent, on the independent circuit. John Cena, as he said, he was born for the WWE. They pretty much have a consistent style. He's kind of a power, ground and pound kind of guy. That's kind of characteristic for the bigger guys that are in the company. So there was some realism in both of their promos. I and I like that. So that was cool. I actually like the whole. Even though I still can't figure out like why Mickey James and Alexa Bliss are aligned with one another, because Mickey James went and cut this promo, which was very good. I thought, the crowd wasn't giving her a chance because they kept like interrupting her with what's and all of that stuff. But I thought her mic work was good. But she kind of was speaking on this whole reinvention of herself and how she was the women's revolution before there was a women's revolution. And Renee Young kind of alluded to it when she asked her, well, like, why are you aligning with Alexa Bliss if you're all anti women's revolution? And I guess she kind of alluded to it a little bit, saying Alexa Bliss showed her respect, remembered her title reigns and things of that nature. So that forged this friendship or this alliance that they have. But I'm still looking for a little more clarity on that. I'm glad Mickie James is in the women's division on SmackDown because they do need a fresh face. It'll just be interesting to see where things go from here. Any thoughts on that?
Um, you know, I feel that with the Mickie James, it's good because Mickie is a seasoned veteran. She's good in the ring, and Alexa Bliss, as much as HTR, Darius, and myself personally love her, um, she still has some things that she needs to perfect in terms of uh, promo and all of that stuff. So maybe being aligned with Mickie James can help her. And I also see this alignment could possibly turn into a feud down the line if maybe Alexa Bliss starts to get even, too more bigger for her britches than she's already is.
Yeah, that's definitely always. I mean, you almost always see that with these alliances. At some point, they're going to explode. At some point, they're going to collide in some way. It's the same thing we kind of been predicting with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. At some point, they're going to break up and, possibly feud, with one another. I like the new Dolph Ziggler. I like the heel Dolph Ziggler. I'm still not sure of the direction, but I just like the fact that they turned him heel. I think he serves himself and the WWE better as a heel. I think he does better work as a heel. It'll be interesting to see what comes of that. And what's going on with the Wyatt family? That's a weird thing too, because we saw Randy Orton fight Luke Harper on Tuesday night. Randy Orton gets the win. Bray Wyatt comes in the ring and gives Luke Harper Sister Abigail. So and as Randy Orton is like smiling, so you know, is Bray Wyatt abandoning Luke Harper and him and Randy, or was that just kind of some every man for himself kind of promo for the Royal Rumble? I was a little confused by that.
I don't know if that was more like tough love, like you lost, so you're gonna get this extra punishment with the Sister Abigail. I'm not sold yet on this being the end of Luke Harper in the Wyatt family. Now they could go another way where because we all understand, I think we all see that Randy Orton is working his magic here. Um, and what I could see as a possibility is that Luke Harper, steps aside for a little bit, probably comes back with maybe Eric Rowan, for example. He hasn't been on TV in a while. So Luke Harper comes back with Eric Rowan, and they team up, start feuding with Bray and Randy Orton until Luke Harper finally makes Bray see that Randy Orton has been pulling the wool over his eyes this whole time. And then we get the Wyatts reconnect and they feud with Randy Orton leading up to WrestleMania. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's hey man, maybe you should write for WWE. That's actually not bad. I think ultimately we're going to see in some form or fashion Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. You would think at some point he's going to show his hand and show them that he's been tricking them all along and he is indeed the Viper. So yeah, so SmackDown was interesting. I think obviously anytime the Monday Night Raw, you end the show with Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, and The Undertaker in the ring, that's definitely going to strum up some excitement. That was actually pretty cool to see. Those three guys are probably combined, 123 years old. But but it was good to see. Well, I guess Brock Lesnar really isn't that old, right? But Goldberg and Undertaker are. But it was cool to see that this Royal Rumble, man, is going to be interesting. Like, I really cannot put my finger on. I thought I knew who was going to win, or I thought I had an inkling on who might win. But now that you hear these rumors that they don't want to go, they being WWE, they don't want to go Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. They want to switch from that unless they're working us all. You know, I thought Undertaker was going to win the Royal Rumble. I know Courtney still believes that he is. It's just really hard to call what direction WWE is going to go, and I guess that's a good thing, right? It brings that element of unpredictability into everything, and I'm really torn. We can segue right into 5 potential people that we think might win the Rumble, and we can kind of alternating some names, but I don't know, man. I thought Undertaker would be one of the guys, and I guess he would be one of my potential winners still. Although I just don't know how it all would play out, but I would probably first go with the Undertaker as one of my 5 guys who could potentially win this year's Royal Rumble. Not to mention, we kind of alluded to it on a past episode. It's in San Antonio. Undertaker last won a Royal Rumble in San Antonio 10 years ago. So, stay woke. It all can happen right here on a Sunday night.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, we have how many guys? 22. I think it's 22 or so far who's been announced.
Okay.
So there's eight spots left. But like you said, there's some big names in here, but there's a lot of names in here that there's no chance in hell, to quote Vince McMahon, that they're winning. For the next 2 months, I can't see how they suddenly fit into the world title picture. So if it's not none of the 22 names right now, it's gonna be one of these 8 remaining spots. But like right now, let me just eliminate who I don't feel has any chance whatsoever of winning.
Okay.
The New Day, no, just no. Dolph Ziggler, no. He got the heel turn, which is great. He still has a load of work to do, but no. Cesaro, we know Vince feels that Cesaro's missing something, so Cesaro ain't winning. And Sheamus is tied to Cesaro, so no Sheamus either. Sami Zayn, no. Big Cass, no. Mojo Rawley, no.
Hex no.
Big Show is supposedly fighting
Shaq.
So he's gonna have his WrestleMania moment. So no. So that leaves us with Rusev, Luke. Oh wait, Luke Harper, get out. I feel that Randy and Bray are gonna fight at WrestleMania, so I'm gonna take them out as well. Okay. So I'm left with Rusev. I'm left with The Miz, Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman, Chris Jericho, Brock, and Goldberg, who I feel are going to face each other at WrestleMania anyway, so I don't even think they're going to win. And then The Undertaker. So my first guaranteed possibility is going to just be like you, The Undertaker, just because I've eliminated so many others.
Okay. Now I got some interesting, a very interesting article here that I just pulled up. I can't for the life of me understand why Forbes magazine does WWE articles, but they do, and they're actually not bad. So far, so they have an article where they actually have Royal Rumble odds, and right now Goldberg has the best odds to win the Royal Rumble at plus 250. Goldberg, Randy Orton, Braun Strowman, The Undertaker, and Finn Balor have and Finn Balor and Samoa Joe are tied with the best odds to actually win the Royal Rumble. Now, of course, Finn Balor is an unknown. Is he? There's rumblings going around that he may be medically cleared this week and could be a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. Samoa Joe is in NXT, obviously. So we don't know if he's going to be one of those surprise entrants. Some interesting people of note that have there's a guy who's not even in WWE right now, technically, that has better odds than current WWE superstars. Kenny Omega is like top 20 in odds to win the Royal Rumble. And he's not even flipping in the WWE. His odds to win the Royal Rumble are better than Cesaro's, Kofi Kingston, Big Cass, Dolph Ziggler, and The Big Show. Go figure. So you got Kenny Omega in there with like his odds to win are like plus 5,000. Like Goldberg has the best odds at plus 250, and then it goes all the way down to like plus 20,000. The person with the least odds to win the Royal Rumble, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he's not even an active member of the WWE roster. I guess the person who is actually an active member of the roster with the worst chance is Sin Cara at plus 20,000. Sin Cara, Jey Uso, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shane McMahon, and Hulk Hogan are all plus 20,000. So there you go. Forbes picks The Undertaker. They said The Undertaker will win the Royal Rumble and Braun Strowman will have the most eliminations. I definitely can see that happen. He has the best odds to have the most eliminations. Makes perfect sense. They're building him up to be this huge monster. I'm actually going to list Braun Strowman as maybe my dark horse, as one of my 5 names of people that I think have a chance to win the Royal Rumble. I think he has a very outside shot if WWE decides to go with, say, like Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns on the Raw side. If Roman Reigns beats KO for the belt, Braun Strowman would probably be a suitable challenger for him. So he would be the second name I would list of my 5 guys with a chance to actually win the Royal Rumble.
I do feel that Finn Balor does return. So I'm going to go with him. I'm going to pick Finn. Now, do I think Kevin Owens is going to hold the title until WrestleMania to where he will be able to face Finn Balor? No. I'm not certain on Kevin holding the title that long, but I'm just going to go out on a limb here, and I feel that Finn might come back because his initial run was cut short, and this might be something that they give him. So that's my second.
That's your second guy. Okay. Hot Dog in the chat room asked, what were Shawn Michaels' odds to win the Royal Rumble? He is actually plus 6,600. His odds are actually better than Rusev, Apollo Crews, and Big E, just to give you a couple of guys who are actually active who he has better odds than. So he's actually kind of middle of the pack at plus 6,600. He has the same odds to win as Big Cass, Dolph Ziggler, and The Big Show. So Kurt Angle is plus 4,000. That's an interesting name. Kurt Angle obviously is a hot name that people have been rumoring to be in the Royal Rumble. Obviously, he is the headliner for the WWE Hall of Fame induction here WrestleMania weekend. Do you see any scenario where Kurt Angle might possibly be in the Royal Rumble? He is denying it, but of course we know that means nothing in the world of professional wrestling. Do you see a scenario where Kurt Angle actually will be in the 2017 Royal Rumble?
Feeling that he's going to show up. I do. I'm not picking him to win, but I do have a feeling, just like how AJ showed up in last year's, I do have a feeling he's going to show up, but I'm not picking him to win.
All right. Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. I kind of could see him having a match at WrestleMania more so than being in the Royal Rumble, but anything can happen, man. So I wouldn't sell WWE short on the possibility. My third name for a person that could possibly win the Royal Rumble is Chris Jericho, especially if they go with the scenario where KO retains the title over Roman Reigns, and they go with Jericho winning the Royal Rumble, and he challenges Kevin Owens. So that would be really interesting. It's probably a long shot, but I'm going to go with Chris Jericho. He currently has plus 900 odds of winning the Royal Rumble. That is like seventh best. So he has better odds than Brock Lesnar, for example, and The Miz, Baron Corbin, John Cena, some guys like that. So Jericho is my third name. So far I've gone with Undertaker, Braun Strowman, and Jericho. You've gone with Undertaker and Finn Balor. Give me a third name, Shane. Who do you think has a chance to win the Rumble?
I'm gonna go with the Miz because I just feel like we're in the midst of a resurgence where, I mean, the Miz character has already started, been on that upward, that escalator going up. But I feel like this could be the next thing to be a legit world title contender. Because as good as he's been, and he's been engaged in back and forths with uh, Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, he he's still kind of stuck in that he's around the mid card title, got one foot in there, one foot out. So I'm thinking he could be a possibility. So that's my next pick, the
All
Miz.
right, the Miz. That's an interesting one, man, because it would be awesome. I know Daniel Bryan's not cleared to wrestle, but wouldn't it be great? All of the tension, all of the drama, all of the arguing and the great promos and the back and forth between the Miz and Daniel Bryan. It would be so great if that actually could culminate in a match. That would be awesome because they really have had this rivalry going on without actually having any physicality involved, and it's actually been really, really entertaining. But who knows if Daniel Bryan will ever be cleared to wrestle again in WWE at least. Definitely doesn't look likely. The fourth name I'm going to go with, for the fourth person who I think has a chance to enter the Royal Rumble, is a man who technically, I guess, lost his spot in the Royal Rumble on Monday Night Raw. And this is really, I guess I really shouldn't pick him because we already know Seth Rollins is going to fight Triple H at WrestleMania. I mean, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. Um, so scratch that. I'm not going to go with Seth Rollins because it's pretty much etched in stone. He's going to be wrestling Triple H at Mania. Unless they somehow make it for a title, which I don't see happening. So I guess for a fourth name, I'm gonna go with Samoa Joe. I believe that Samoa Joe is going to be one of the surprise entrants. He's going to be one of those 8 people that have yet to be revealed. And he has a legitimate chance to actually shock the world and win the Royal Rumble. Can you imagine Samoa Joe versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania? Right, that would be like the battle of the be the battle of like the unconventional WWE superstar. But I would imagine that if Samoa Joe did win, he would be a heel. Reigns would beat Kevin Owens, and we would probably see something like Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That would be good. I'm gonna go with Samoa Joe, man. He's my fourth. He's my fourth pick. Forbes has him at plus 550 to win the Rumble. That's actually the tied for the fifth best odds, along with Finn Balor. So I'm gonna roll with Samoa Joe.
Trying my hardest to like steer clear of your picks so we could have, so we could have some differences. But yeah, when I started hearing the talks that there's a possibility that Samoa Joe might show up in the Rumble, I haven't heard anything from him or about him in NXT lately, so I was leaning towards Samoa Joe showing up and possibly winning, and I mean that could just be this next big storyline. Like, this guy came out of nowhere. He was an NXT, superstar. He enters the Rumble. Holy crap, he wins. Which title is he going to go after? I could see that being this big storyline, and it just shocks people. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Samoa Joe, and I think it would be great to just hear, all those people in the Alamo Dome or wherever they're wrestling, chanting "Joe's gonna kill you" when he decides which title he's going for.
Yeah, I think the crowd. I remember when AJ made his debut last year, and the crowd gave him such a huge pop. I think, Samoa Joe would have a reaction similar to that. So, yeah, Samoa Joe, we both agree, would be I guess our fourth pick as possible Royal Rumble winners. For my fifth pick, this is gonna be tough. This is a tough one. Oh man, I don't know where to go here. You took the Miz, and I'm trying to steer clear of yours too. I took Jericho. I guess there's an outside shot that one of Brock Lesnar or Bill Goldberg could win the Royal Rumble if they go with one of those guys winning the belt in between now and WrestleMania, and then they could have their match at WrestleMania for one of the titles. So I guess my fifth guy is some combination of Brock Lesnar or Bill Goldberg. I think this is probably my least confident pick, because obviously Brock Lesnar and Goldberg are on a collision course to face each other at WrestleMania. I guess they could throw a title in the picture, but both guys are probably, Brock is definitely part-time. Goldberg is, I don't even think, part-time, technically. But I'm going to go with some combination of Brock Lesnar and Goldberg as my fifth person with a chance to win the Royal Rumble.
All right, so you're going with Brockberg. Okay, cool.
Brockberg.
Last, I'm gonna go with the man that you chose and Forbes think is gonna eliminate the most people. I'm gonna go with Braun. Um, he's being pushed as this big beast now. Whoever he faces at WrestleMania, does he win the title? I don't see it, but I can see him being the winner here and going on to WrestleMania for the Universal title or the WWE title, and he doesn't have to win, and his match does not have to be the final match on the card. But I'm gonna go with Braun Strowman as my pick.
All right. Yeah, all kind of on the same wavelength. HD in the chat room says he has 4 picks to win the Royal Rumble. He goes Braun Strowman, The Miz, Samoa Joe, and Sami Zayn. I almost picked Sami Zayn. I'm gonna call Sami Zayn like a dark horse. I don't know that he really has a chance at all, but he's kind of been getting some semi-main event love, if you will, kind of with his involvement with Braun Strowman, and he had a great match on Raw with Seth Rollins. So maybe Sami Zayn has a very outside shot to win. His odds of winning per Forbes are plus 2,000. Same odds as Baron Corbin. Same odds as John Cena. So I don't expect John Cena to be in the Royal Rumble. Interestingly enough, his odds are better than Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, and Dean Ambrose. All people probably in the hierarchy or the WWE ladder, if you will, are probably a little higher up on the ladder than either. So interesting, interesting. But looking forward to Sunday. As Hot Dog in the chat room says, this is definitely a Royal Rumble that puts you in the mindset of some of the Royal Rumbles of early years where you really didn't have a clue who was going to win. That's a very good call. I agree with that point of view wholeheartedly. Royal Rumble memory, Shane. We've been talking about the Royal Rumble, kind of previewing. We'll talk a little bit too about some of the other matches on the card and how we think those things are going to go. But give me a Royal Rumble memory, something that you remember fondly from Royal Rumbles past.
One is something I was hoping would happen this year based on how deep the rosters are. And when I say rosters, I was also included NXT because I was hoping that maybe they just throw a couple NXT guys in there. Like they did at WrestleMania with Hideo Nomo. Hideo Nomo, that's a picture. Hideo Tommy.
Tommy.
and Baron Corbin before he got to SmackDown. I was hoping that they would do like back in I think it was 2011 with the 40-man battle royal. This way we could get some more names in there. Like the Usos, they're not in there. You got a bunch of tag teams that are not in on the match. I mean, I know they might be doing some pre-show or some filler match, but seeing guys like the Uso or something left off, it's kind of like, if only there were more spots.
Yeah. So I guess they've done the 40-man Royal Rumble twice. I actually only remember the 2011 one, but I guess they did it once before. I read that earlier today. But yeah, it would be interesting, man. But do they have? I know you said guys like the Usos aren't in it. Do they have? I guess, and if they opened it up, like you said, to maybe the NXT superstars too, then you could definitely expand out to 40. But yeah, that was a memorable Royal Rumble won by that 40-man Rumble in 2011.
Alberto Del Rio.
That is right. Alberto Del Rio won that Royal Rumble, and probably even more importantly, the HTR crew that very WrestleMania was in the house in Atlanta to see Alberto Del Rio. I think he challenged Edge, right, for the World Heavyweight Championship, and he lost. But we were in the house for that WrestleMania in the A and had a great time, and hopefully we're on our way to the O. I don't know if that's what they call Orlando, but hopefully we're on our way to Orlando for this year's WrestleMania. I know Shane and Darius is right in you guys' backyard, so you guys plan to go. But
yeah, just got that W2 stuff back. Got to try to get that money in quick.
Yes, it is tax season for many. But yeah. So my WrestleMania Royal Rumble memory. I'm thinking ahead here. My Royal Rumble memory was actually a Royal Rumble that I actually attended, and that was the Royal Rumble in 2009. It was at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. I actually attended with our bum of a co-host, Courtney McIntosh, who mooched off of my free ticket that I got from my wife for Christmas that December. But he ain't want to even buy me a hot dog. But I'm not gonna put him on blast here. I just did live on air. But Royal Rumble 2009 was won by Randy Orton. Randy Orton and Legacy were kind of doing their thing at that time. Randy Orton won. I think some of the other notable matches on the card, there was a WWE Championship match. It was Edge versus Jeff Hardy, and if I'm not mistaken, Matt Hardy actually helped Edge. You know, they did the little twist there. Matt Hardy actually helped Edge defeat his brother and win the WWE Championship or retain. I think Edge was the champion going in. If I'm not mistaken, that's kind of how that match shook out. John Cena faced JBL. I don't know if you remember back when Shawn Michaels was like JBL's like slave or something like something like
Yeah.
that, where he was kind of like forced to be in servitude to JBL. So that was another match on the card. Melina fought Beth Phoenix for the women's championship. So there was a couple of things going on there, but that one was memorable because it was the first and the only Royal Rumble that I've ever attended, and it was really cool. The Royal Rumble match, of course, was the coolest thing. You know, just the countdown and people coming out and kind of seeing that take place live. That was really cool. So that was one that sticks out for me. You got another one?
Yeah, I've got three more lined up.
Oh, you really came
Well,
prepared. All right.
I really have four, but all right. So another one I'm gonna go with is 2002. That is because in that Royal Rumble match, that is when Triple H returned from injury, and then he was able to defeat Kurt Angle at the very end to win the Royal Rumble match. So I'm gonna go with that one just because I am a Triple H mark and I like returns because that is also the reason why I picked another Royal Rumble, which I'll get to after you say yours.
Okay, and if I recall my Royal Rumble history correctly, that is when Triple H went on to face Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, and with Stephanie in his corner, and he won the title, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right there, Mr. Howard?
Um,
I think that's right.
uh,
I'm pretty sure that's right.
listen, you told me to be prepared for Royal Rumble. I wasn't thinking about. I wasn't thinking about WrestleMania.
No. It's my bad. You're right. I'm just, you know me. I'm pretty sure that's how that one went down. So my next, Royal Rumble memory, and you might have to help me out with the year. I guess it was 3 years ago. If this is WrestleMania, this is getting ready to be WrestleMania 33, right? So I guess it was the Royal Rumble before WrestleMania 30. And it was the Royal Rumble that Batista won. And he literally almost got booed out of the arena. But the reason I remember that Royal Rumble is because everybody thought Daniel Bryan was going to be entrant number 30. And it turned out to be Rey Mysterio. And for the first time, maybe in his professional wrestling life, or unless he was, other than him being like a heel, Rey Mysterio got booed like crazy. The people wanted Daniel Bryan, and they did not get him. And that, for me, sticks out as a Royal Rumble that I'll never forget, man, because they gave Rey Mysterio the business for being entrant number 30, and then they gave Batista the business after he went on to win the Royal Rumble. And I think that was like his brief return to WWE. Went on to WrestleMania, and he fought in that triple threat against Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton, and Daniel Bryan, of course, won. But yeah, that's the one that sticks out for me as well. The booing of Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, as a racist, and when I say racist, once again, that's an REY. Hating against Rey Mysterio, I'm a racist. I do remember that, and I was joining in with the booing because I was hoping it was Daniel Bryan. So, yes, good job there, sir. Good job. All right, 1999 throwback. 1999,
Taking us
and
back.
there's two reasons. One, the Royal Rumble match itself. this is where uh, the storyline was Vince versus Austin. If Austin had won the previous two Royal Rumbles in a row, and Vince decided that Austin would not win this Royal Rumble, and he put a bounty on Stone Cold. I am
Yep.
a fan. I am a big fan of money being a motivator in wrestling. Put bounties on people. Make somebody Tanya Harding somebody, and and bam, give them some money. Boom. I like that. Vince eventually won the Royal Rumble, but I just like the fact that we were using this money as the motivator, and everybody was going after Austin trying to get that extra 100,000. And also on this pay per view, because usually it's the Rumble that's the big thing, but The Rock and Mankind had their I Quit match on that Royal Rumble as well. And if you remember, that was a pretty gruesome, brutal I Quit match.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was, and then that kind of led to the string. They had like a string of quite a few title matches between then and between that Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. I remember they had a match on the super for the super at the super halftime of the Super Bowl and all that. The title was changing hands like 100 times. Yeah, I definitely remember the brutality of that I Quit match. Definitely, definitely. I'm gonna let you give me another Rumble memory while I try to figure out the year. I got my next Rumble memory. I just gotta figure out what year it was. So I'll let you chime in with another one.
All right. Well, 2008. I mentioned that I was going to give you another one with a returning superstar. This is when John Cena returned from his pectoral muscle injury.
Yep.
I think he returned quicker than many expected. And, I just thought it was a cool moment. Just like when Triple H returned, I just thought John Cena's return, even though I'm not the biggest of Cena fans, I enjoyed that return, and that is why I'm picking that one.
Yes, indeed. That was actually what I was going to pick. I was trying to find the year, so thank you. But but yeah, the one thing that sticks out to me is the shock, the look of shock on Triple H's face when John Cena's music. He's like, I cannot believe this is happening. And Cena comes in and does damage and ultimately wins the Royal Rumble. I guess another memorable one for me would be, you talked about returns. I think 2010 we saw the return of Edge and his quest to get back into the title picture and win the Royal Rumble. That's one that kind of sticks out for me as well. Edge of course goes on to win the title. But another one for me that really stuck out, and I'm going to really take you back, being the resident folky and all. 1994. It was the first time that we had two winners of the Royal Rumble. Bret Hart and Lex Luger eliminated each other at the same time. And they went on to WrestleMania to each get main event matches. I think ultimately that led into WrestleMania 10. Ultimately, Bret Hart, I think, ended up winning the belt, but Lex Luger had to fight Yokozuna, who was the champ, and then Bret Hart got the winner. But Bret Hart had a warm-up match against his brother Owen, which many regard as one of the best matches in WrestleMania history. It was a great match that Owen actually won, but Bret ended up capping the night off by winning the belt. So that Royal Rumble was memorable just because you kind of had, two winners, wasn't sure how that was going to work. So that was a good one. That was a good one for me. Thank you.
All right. This one is kind of controversial, but I'm going to go a decade in the future. And 2004, this one was won by the man that the WWE doesn't want us to know about anymore, but that was Chris Benoit. He entered at number 1 and was able to survive the entire Rumble and win it, which of course then he went on to WrestleMania and won the title there as well. But um, back then I was a big Chris Benoit fan. Like even in the wrestling games, I'm picking Chris Benoit. You know, the wrestler, not the man. Focus on the wrestler. For anybody that's listening, focus on the
Right.
wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the events surrounding his life was horrible, was terrible, but he was indeed a incredible in-ring talent. Just sad that things kind of ended the way it did. But all right, Shane, we are pretty much at the end of this episode number 319 of the Hit the Ropes radio show. Before we sign off for the night, I want you to give me your definitive, your absolute. I know we're turning in picks. Oh, and I guess we should say this. We do still have a pay-per-view prediction contest ongoing. People been slacking on their picks, but there is a WWE Shop gift card in it for the person who finishes with the best win percentage. Send your picks in to us either via Twitter or via Facebook. You'll find us, of course, at Hit the Ropes. Send your picks in, post them before the Royal Rumble pre-show. It will be counted towards your record, your winning percentage, and the person with the best winning percentage after WrestleMania wins a WWE Shop gift card. So be sure to remember to send in your picks for our pay-per-view prediction contest this weekend. Shane, before we sign off for the night, who's winning the Royal Rumble? Who's winning it? Shane Stradamus, you have the crystal ball. You have the key. Who wins the 2017 Royal Rumble?
The fact that this guy is nobody's drafted him. He's a freaking free agent, and I don't see anybody clamoring for him to get to their brand right now. I'm gonna go with the Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Shane, I don't think that I can disagree with you, but I'm going to go outside the box. My heart, my head says the Undertaker. Let me tell you, my head says the Undertaker. My heart says Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is going to enter the Royal Rumble, shock the world, and win it. This is wishful thinking. However, it's wrestling. We can dream. We can suspend our beliefs. And I believe Samoa Joe will win the Royal Rumble. There you have it, folks. Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 319 of the Hit the Ropes radio show. Shane, before we sign off for the evening, do you have any parting thoughts?
Nope, just get your picks in. Continue following us on Twitter, and on Facebook, Hit the Ropes, on It's the Ropes, and check out the website, hittheropesradio.com.
That's right. That's right. IG too. Be sure. I don't know if you said Instagram. We're there as well. But yeah, be sure to check out the website, hittheropesradio.com. We're also looking for writers. So if you are interested in writing your opinions, your views, your thoughts as a freelance writer, emphasis on the word free because you won't get paid. But if you're interested in writing your views and opinions on all things professional wrestling, join us at hittheropesradio.com. You won't regret it because you won't get paid for it. It'll be all your original, your content. But looking for people to join the team. So if you're interested, hit us up online. But for Shane Howard and Demetrius Stokes, we're going to sign off for this edition of Hit the Ropes Radio. We'll be back Sunday, right? Wrestling,
Yes,
watching wrestling with friends. It is the Hit the Ropes Radio Super Show, if you will. It'll be a bevy of wrestling analytics, wrestling quote unquote experts, all analyzing and talking about the Royal Rumble. So join us here on YouTube Sunday night, probably around the pre-show, for what we call Watching Wrestling with Friends, where we analyze the Royal Rumble. So be sure to tune in on Sunday night. Until then, we'll see you guys. Have a great night. Peace.
Peace.